ask Dr. Scherm if she can share with us her educational background and what she does today.
Sure. Well, thank you, first of all, for having me today. I'm really excited to be here. So I am the owner of Scherm Family Chiropractic. We offer chiropractic and massage therapy. I have been a massage therapist since 2008, so for about 14 years. And I graduated chiropractic school in 2011. So I'm a chiropractor for about 11 years now. And I've been a business owner for almost 3 years of that now. So yeah.
Awesome. So I did not realize that you were in this field as long as you have been. So you said
Yeah.
11 years.
11 years.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful. That's wonderful. So tell us, I have a few questions for you, but tell us what prompted you to pursue your current career.
Sure. So I've always had a fascination with the human body. I just think there's something about it that's amazing. But originally, I wanted to do marine biology, and I had wanted to do this for my whole life. So I knew that's what I wanted to do, right? When you're a kid, that's just what you have in your mind. Got to school, I did the first year, and I realized, I like it. It's super fascinating, but that's not where my heart is. And I wasn't fulfilled. And so I had taken some biology courses at that point and kind of learned a little bit more about anatomy. And that just kind of triggered my passion for the way that the body functions a little bit more. And so my mom said, "Hey, well, why don't you come and talk to my chiropractor?" And I was like, "What is a chiropractor? I've never heard that in my life," right? So I went to talk to him, and he was just telling me the stories about how people came in pain and how they would leave feeling better, and the way that making the body be in a good position can help function and form and pain reduction for people. And it was one of those light bulb moments of, oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. So I started working for one for a while, and just seeing people come in one condition and leaving feeling so much better and able to perform better just was incredible to me. And it just kind of lit the passion for where I am now. So
That's awesome. And it's fascinating too. Like you said, you were in one path, you liked it, but you didn't love it.
I didn't love it.
So
Yeah.
that's awesome. So tell us a little bit, well, I'm curious, have you had to make any additional transitions in your career?
Sure. So first of all, once you graduate, you realize school was really amazing to teach you how to be a chiropractor, but it never truly goes into how to be the business owner or the business side of things or running a practice. So my decision was, out of school, I started working for somebody. And I worked for somebody for a while, and I had still this idea that I wanted to open up my own, but it wasn't until I got pregnant with my first child that kind of pushed me out of the employee status. And I decided once I had her, family was number one to me. So I took the transition out of working to be home with my kid. And I was home with her for about a year, and I was able to do coverage work. So I was able to go into other offices and see how other chiropractors ran their business and did their patient care and the systems that they used. And so then I go, you know what, I'm not going back to working for anybody anymore. I realized that was the time. So I opened up my own, and in that time, COVID hit. So the transition from being a full-time mom to now then a full-time owner, and then not like now being a full-time mom and an owner because schools were closed and all of that with COVID. And then once that opened back up and getting her back into school, I found out I was pregnant with number two. So, the transition from then being a mom on top of that. And then once she was back at school, the number two was back at school, then I could actually be a business owner. So there's been quite a few transitions in the short time that I've been open, but yeah, it's been a ride. Yeah.
Awesome. Because I can still remember, and I'm not sure if it was baby one, child one, or child two, but I
Yeah.
remember seeing you on conference calls with your baby on your lap or
Yeah.
with you
That
on
was
the
probably
calls.
number one.
I
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah.
So
You
that's
just got to do what you got to do, right?
that's right. That's right. And it was fantastic to see you transition what you just said during both um, children and
Yeah.
your transition from being an employee to being the employer,
Yeah.
business on your own.
Yeah.
What did you feel helped you be successful in those transitions?
Um, Patience, um, positivity, because there's a lot that goes on. And I think really finding the good in all of the situations helped make it worth it and helped push forward to the next day, as small as that, because as most people who have kids realize they change your life for good,
Absolutely.
but there's also some things that totally change and you just have to figure it out. And sometimes it can get a little overwhelming, especially being a business owner. And so I think just kind of maintaining that positivity in order to maintain those transitions was really important. So, patience, positivity, and then definitely prioritizing. I guess we're doing the three P's today, right?
That's right.
Prioritizing where is the most important. For me, it was family. And so I was able, luckily, to be able to do both, but setting the priorities and sticking with those. And then everything else is bonus.
That's excellent. Well, thank
Yeah.
you for sharing your three P's. I did hear
Yeah.
them.
Right.
That
I
was
didn't know. I didn't
wonderful.
mean for that to happen, but I guess that
That
is.
is awesome. So, what do you find when you think back to your career? What did you feel? Well, I'll ask you a question. I don't want to assume, but it sounds like you had to take a few risks in your career. Is
Yeah.
that safe to say?
Sure. Yeah.
And which ones do you feel were the most impactful risks that you took? And what did you learn?
Well, the first and foremost is probably starting. You know, it's easy to fall into the routine of working for somebody day in and day out, that constant paycheck, that the ease of going home and not having anything to do. And it's scary to step outside your comfort zone and boundaries of wanting to do the business side of things when you're so used to doing the clinical side of things. So one of the biggest risks was just opening the door, and it is a great risk once you get past it. You kind of have to push yourself forward in order to do it. But once you do, it's totally worth it. And then another one was probably hiring staff. And it's really hard to find people that work well with you and or with your clients. You want to make sure that they're taken care of, especially in my field with the way that I am. I care deeply about the people that come through the door. So I don't want just anybody working for or with me, putting their hands on people with the massage therapy that is very, uh, it's, you want to make sure that you have the right people.
Understood.
And so, just taking that risk of trusting somebody, especially since I was going out on maternity leave. So they were going to be in the office, basically without me. And so kind of trusting my business to somebody else was a big risk. But if you find the right person, which I thankfully did, she's been a godsend, and it has been, definitely worth it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, tell us what's one thing you learned from either of those experiences?
Um, that especially starting, you if you're almost not feeling that pushback, then maybe it's become too easy and you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Like I don't, that might sound really, really strange, but in order for you to grow, you have to push yourself beyond those boundaries. You have to step outside the box a little bit. You have to take your comfort zone and say, you know what, I can go to here, but really, I can go to here, and really push yourself beyond that limit so that you can grow, so that you can do more and be more and open yourself up to more people. Yeah.
That's excellent. And I heard you say, push yourself, get out of
Yeah.
your comfort zone. All these things will
Yeah.
help you grow.
Yes.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
excellent. So, what advice would you give someone that's considering going into your career path?
Yeah. The biggest thing is the biggest thing that I wish somebody had talked to me about before I went into chiropractic school is not the clinical side, not the business side. It's the financial side. Moving into it, what are those student loans going to look like when you come out of school? What are the options after you graduate? So, okay, well, this is what I can afford to do. And this is what I should do right away with those student loans. So it maximizes or minimizes the amount that you have to pay back over the period of time that you have those loans for. And there's so many different options. I wish I knew before I graduated or right as I was graduating. And if there's anybody that wants to talk more about that, I'd be happy to have a deeper conversation. But that's definitely one, is be prepared for what happens after graduation from a financial standpoint. If you have any passion with helping people or anatomy or anything like that, you already know that the career is potentially good for you. It's the other things that people don't talk about.
Excellent. That's excellent. And we will save some time at the end. And I'm going to ask you to share how people can contact you for more
Sure.
information or to ask you some more questions also. So I have maybe two more questions and then going to open it up to you. What have you found most enjoyable about your current career?
Um, I think now that I am open for myself, I do love the flexibility in creating my schedule that works best for me, for not only myself, but for my family. But for the career itself and for the actual chiropractic part, it's seeing how you can change somebody's life and take them from a point of pain to a point of recovery, and just being there to be a support system for them, because you become more than just a doctor to them. You become somebody that they come in and talk to about life, and just the relationships that you build are super important to me. And you kind of look at the schedule and you see who's coming in, and you just get excited for every day.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else that you like to share today that we have not covered, in addition to, how people can get in touch with you? But is there anything
Yeah.
else you think would be helpful for us
I
to?
just think in whatever career that you choose, make sure you love it. Make sure it speaks to you, and make sure that it really resonates in your gut, because it's something that you're going to be doing for a while. Hopefully, it's and you want it to be something that you are passionate about. It's not something that you dread going to your 9 to 5. And I know sometimes you have to do the dread before you get to where you want to be. But I think it's really important to find what you're passionate about and do it.
That's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I am definitely happy to hear more about your background, and I'm thankful that you shared your story with us and your experiences. How can we stay connected with you, and how can people contact you with any questions that they might have?
Absolutely. So I am usually accessible through texting, or emailing is probably the easiest way to get a hold of me. Do you want me to just share the phone number and the
Yeah,
email?
sure. Share
Okay.
your phone number and
Um,
email.
Perfect. So the phone number for us is 804-887-0772. And you can either call or email or text that number. And then the email is jscherm, SCHERM, at schermfamilychiropractic.com. And all of this is on my website if you wanted to go to schermfamilychiropractic.com, or you can look us up on Facebook and message me through Facebook. Pretty accessible in whatever way you can find me. I try to be as available as possible to people.